Kayden and Sandra, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so much,
having us.
Ishan. Thanks a lot.
All right, I think every time I talk to like wildlife people, people involved in the space, I found that everyone has a few like go-to wildlife stories that they end up sharing. And so we'll go one by one. First Sandra, and then you, Kate. And like, what is your go-to wildlife story that you share with someone when you meet?
Well, I don't know if I have one go-to wildlife story that I would wanna share. So I am into birds and I really like birding and I took it up as a hobby. But then eventually it started, especially after being a part of Kayden's team, it started becoming more of a everyday thing now and it's more like a two. So I remember the first few times when I had just started birding, and like any other person who would wanna, we have a list of I want to see this and this and this and this when I go out into the field. So I remember the first time when this was back in my bachelor's when I was in my second year, and I was doing this RA bird count. Okay. I really wanted to see the paradise flycatcher, okay? And I would diligently go every Sunday, even though it was not my turn to go. I would diligently go every Sunday in the hopes to see the flycatcher. And one fine trail when I actually went with my colleagues, which was much, much later, not in my bachelor's. I think after I finished my bachelor's, which was like 2 years later, I actually did manage to see the paradise flycatcher, which is this beautiful white bird. So I saw it and I remember I squeaked so loud. The bird went on the ground and I started laughing and then I cried. So that is one of my I keep thinking of that moment when I had just started and it was so nice. Yeah, I think that's my story.
Yeah, that really is quite a beautiful bird. I remember I was like my boarding school used to be next to a jungle, and so near the dining hall there would be this one male paradise flycatcher that would come every now and then. Like you'd see it once a week, but every time you'd see it, that really hit you. So I mean, yeah, thank you for sharing that. What about you, Kaden?
So there is not like one story, and I think the older stories keep getting replaced by something new. I think currently two incidents. One, so finding a wine snake in the forest is a very like common thing here, at least here in Mathiran. But this one time we were with a few friends, and we found a wine snake, and the wine snake looked a little odd. When we looked closely, it had a shield tail in its mouth. That that was one of my first videos to actually go to a million. But that sort of like blew my mind, like finding a vine snake eating a shield tail. Like if I would find it eating a frog or maybe a calotus, I would understand because same a lot of niche overlap is there. But when I found it eating a shield tail and like that was like so someone commented what bro has premium forest subscription. Second incident is similar. Second incident we were at Tilari and in Tilari we found a snake, a small worm snake with a white head. I was like, I've never seen this thing before. I do not know what is it. I sent it to the reptile group. I'm like, guys, what is this? One of them replied, some researchers are trying to work with this and it is undescribed yet. And I was like, I found undescribed species in the jungle. Those two incidents are like the first that came to my mind when you said this.
But I mean, you have to finish that story. So what happened after that? So after you sent it to the group?
Yeah, I sent it to the group. I checked. I sent it to the group. I went to the Indian snakes checklist. I checked all of the snakes. I could not find any matches. So right now they say there are some records in Goa and Satara, and hopefully some researchers might find the snake soon. But what is weird was when we searched for the snake, now we found it on the tree, which is a worm snake. Finding a worm snake on a tree, yeah, it was very weird. Like, what are the worm snake doing on a tree? And it had this very distinct white head. Weird part was the only white head worm snake that we have in record is from Hong Kong. It looks very similar to the one we found.
Oh, wow. I'm waiting. You need to update
I
all of us on Instagram once you find
I
that.
am searching for a update. Like, has anyone published a story? Has anyone published the description? But the thing is, yeah, these things take time, right? Like description, getting a paper accepted, and all.
Yeah, but let's see in the next 5 years or so. Who knows? This isn't a normal thing to be interested in that. So I'm at university and I don't know many people who are interested in nature and wildlife, and so that's why I always want to know the origin story for when I meet folks who are interested in this space. So okay, we'll go Caden first this time. How did you get interested in this space?
So it's a very boring, not boring, but very very understandable story. So when I was a kid, now we had this cartoon channel at home. when the vacations start, only for that period it was there. When school year would start, my parents would take out the cartoon channel. The only thing to watch was Discovery. And I was this weird kid who used to just like go out and alone exploring the jungles and all of that. I was pretty bad at judgment. But I still cannot catch a ball if you if you throw a ball at me. So the only thing I would do is like I would wander in my nearby forests alone and just try to find something. When I grew up, I started taking a book with me and going. Like I just tried whatever I liked. And when you see something on Discovery and then you see it in your backyard, it was like it's a wow feeling.
I mean, yeah, that's so similar to to me. And I don't know if you had this experience. I used to watch, I mean, Discovery, Nat Geo, Animal Planet, and then Nat Geo Wild, which was the other
Oh yeah.
the channel. And I used to, I mean, there were very few documentaries on India, or rather, if there were Indian documentaries, there would be like one on the tiger for sure. In a rare case, one on the leopards of Mumbai. There was one Steve Winter, very famous one. And then you'd get Asian elephants, and that's it. Or like king cobras.
I think now there's one thing that I can remember. For me, I think I was quite like grown up when Nat Geo Wild came, but there was a series called Snake Wranglers that would document rescuers how and all over the world. So there were many episodes on Indian rescuers who were actually doing good work.
I mean that's really cool. Right? I think yeah, and so I think now we're seeing sort of the rise of more Indian focused wildlife documentaries. I mean now even like in the last maybe 5 years or so, I could name several upcoming documentaries which wasn't the case that time. Like I remember there being so many different documentaries about Africa or like the American wilds, bison, wolves, that whole
Right.
set of things, or the Amazon. So I mean, no, that's great. I mean, I love how powerful these things can be, even at a young age. Yeah. What about you, Sandra? How did you get into this?
I'm so sorry, Kyle, we don't have a cool story. But the oldest story that I know of that was back in my childhood that my parents told me. Actually, my sister told me was okay, they saw me. I was playing with a cat. I was really young. I think I was in like first or second grade. I'm not sure. And I was playing with the cat. The cat scratched me. I bled. I cried. I went straight back to the cat. I think that's when these guys knew that she's probably fond of animals. And yeah, soon I started having cats. I now have like 6 cats. And I think my love for animals grew from there. There was a point in my 10th standard where I was like, should I opt for psychology or zoology? And I was like, zoology, definitely. And yeah, that's how it is.
How nice, how nice. I think the seeds of what both of you do today online was like that was sowed at that time, and so I need to know that story, like of how you started. Like, what made you upload the first video? I remember, by the way, I remember watching those earlier videos, which would I remember this one where it was like a vlog. It was a stitched up video where you were walking around like, and here's a vine snake, but you shouldn't yoink it because animals do not want to be yoinked, as to coin fishing Garrett's term. So what got you to upload those first videos?
Interesting. So I actually have been trying to upload, like make videos and video content since my early college. So now it is actually like it has reached a lot of people. So one of my earliest tries was with I just had a DG cam, like a tiny camera, like this small. I would just take it. I took it, and the I don't know if the video is still online somewhere. It might just be on the internet. Or just it's like a vlog. I was just going in the jungle and trying to whatever I could see. I was just making a video of it. And I always wanted to do that. Again, Steve Irwin, Nigel Marvin, Brady Barr, Romulus Whittaker, all of them. Okay, Jeff Corwin. I've been watching these guys. All of them sort of made me want to take up this as a career. Like I wanted to, how do I put it? Like make documentary and explain to people about wildlife online, like on video, because that is what I've seen since childhood, and that is what I wanted to do.
And so when did you, like, when you started, was there like a long term goal, or this was just like I will upload one video and then I'll upload the next and the next?
It's a second thing. I
Acha, okay.
just so when Fishing Garrett, actually, a year before Fishing Garrett made his video, we had made a similar one, but it did not get enough traction. It got like 4,000 views, which was better than the other videos of my channel. I should have continued. I should have continued doing that. But yeah, so what we did was I just went to the jungle one day and just sat down. And I went in the jungle at 4 o'clock. I sat down and waited. I waited for it to get dark. 8 o'clock, I came back.
No, I didn't quite get that. So okay, you stayed there and
Yeah, sorry. I filmed
Hmm.
everything I could see on the way back.
Okay,
And I
okay,
made a video. I missed that part.
All right, cool, cool. And so, Sandra, like, how did you get into this? Where do you fit in this story?
I came into the picture when me and Kayden restarted working together. So earlier, we used to work for an organization, and then we parted ways. Then we both started working together again. And this was, I think 2023, Kayden?
Yeah, but
Nice.
no, 24.
No, 24, yeah.
Yeah.
And his channel was just picking and stuff. And I was like, yo, this is cool, man. Let's do it together. Like, I like this, you like this. Let's just do it. And yeah, that's how I came in the picture.
Yeah, so there are something that I cannot manage. Like I'm good with I think I'm good with the content and the storytelling part. Yeah, but when it comes to people skills, I don't have that. So I'm like, I need your help for this.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
have people skills.
you guys are handling quite a lot now, and I do want to talk about people of the forest, but before we get there, I mean, I love the specific focus on snakes, at least in some of those videos, and as someone who's into snakes and frogs myself, I think I'm sure you both can relate to this. The minute I tell people that I'm interested, you get this almost visceral reaction from them. They're like, "Ew, how do you like these?" They think of them as slimy creatures, which is funny because snakes are smooth. And so I want to know, like, why specifically snakes? Because I ask this to every, herpetology enthusiast that I find, or herp enthusiast that I find.
Hmm. I think Sandra developed an interest in snakes later, like after coming on hopping trips with me. But so why snakes, if you would say, is a very sorry, I don't mean to answer for you. Like Sandra, you can answer for yourself later. But honestly, I haven't gotten that reaction a lot. Like I do get that reaction, but it's rare. Most people, when they learn about snakes, that I'm interested in snakes, they are fascinated. They're like, "Wow, snakes!"
Okay.
I do not get that reaction a lot of like slimy creatures.
Great, dude. I need to recruit you the next time I am, meeting someone new, and I'll have you only introduce this passion. And I'm curious though, like, so okay, so imagine someone is tuning into this conversation who doesn't know who you are. So how do you then introduce yourself? I mean, I'm curious to know that now that you get a different reaction than me.
I just say hi. I'm a wildlife biologist. Like that is what I say.
I mean, but like when they ask about your work online, or say like someone vaguely knows the stuff that you do online, how would you describe your Instagram account and what both of you are trying to build together?
Yeah. So, Sandra, I think you can take that question for that. It's because you're working with that part, like right. I work with the content and the reach.
Well, as he said, we do tell people that we are wildlife biologists who we are basically trying to build an entire community of people, who don't just love nature, but rather want to really learn and explore about explore what is there in it, because there's so much more than what you can just see. There's so much beyond that. And that's what we do, the forest. We're just trying to get people closer to the forest, because that is something that at least city folks do not get. And we have been city folks all our life. At least I have. Kayden has so much more exposure to the forest than I have, because I live like dang in the middle of the city and there is nothing. The little bit of forest we have left is also now gonna go soon. So that's what it is. That's how we tell people. But then yes, we do get those reactions. At least I do, like from people that what is this animals? What's gonna happen? Or one of the major thing that I used to earlier get was also like, are you sure you want to pick this up as a career? क्या होने वाला है मतलब? What are you gonna earn? What are you gonna get? And it's just like, shoot, don't ask me all those stuff.
I mean, I think that's perhaps because it's not mainstream in India. It's such
It is.
a Yeah, it is so unconventional. I mean, I don't see that being the case in let's say 10 years. I do think.
Really hope so. I really hope not, because a lot of people now are learning that wildlife is a viable career option. I mean, a few years back, people didn't even know that something like a wildlife course existed in Bombay itself. So I'm really hoping that it does become mainstream and people do start to take more interest and learn about this.
Okay, so yeah, so let's break that down a bit. Like, what do you think, or at least through your platform, what are the common misconceptions, or how do people really perceive a life or a career where they work with wildlife or they work in natural spaces?
I don't know. I mean, perception, as in, I think one is what I already told you, that people don't really take it seriously or as a career option as such. And yeah, I think that's what I can think of. What do you think, Kayden?
So I actually again I may have a bias in this in answering this because my channel is connected to a lot of interested people who are not in wildlife but they're interested in wildlife. I get a lot of people asking me, I want to do wildlife, but how do I do it? This is what I've chosen. Like even just you won't believe me, but around 20 minutes before I joined this call, I was audio typing to this person. This I think 20-year-old girl who's like wants to do something in wildlife, but she doesn't know. She's like, I've done my master. I don't know what she's done in physical physical fitness or something like that. And but she's like, I want to do into wildlife. I want to do something in wildlife. What do I do? And I'm like, you're 20, you have a lot of time. You can join a course, get some exposure, and you can still join wildlife.
Is it only a strictly academic path? Like if say someone doesn't want to get into it like via research, what are some ways in which they can work with wildlife?
Oh, there are so many ways to get into wildlife. Apart from research, I almost went into research, but I did not go into research. I thought of going into research, but then I went into education and like I worked on in Sandra was there in a project called Green Line where we would educate people of Mumbai about the forests and basically the wildlife of Mumbai. After that, yeah, and then we worked in other afforestation projects and different. I still work in another afforestation project.
All right. I mean, it's interesting that even on my account I do get these questions, and I wonder like what is the demographic? Have you been able to identify like a certain kind of person who you think will be interested in wildlife? Like, what are the kinds of people you meet in like the workshops you handle? Are there any broader trends that that you've identified in those groups?
Not in the workshops, but on DMs, I get these, the starry-eyed youngsters who are in college and they are like, I want to do wildlife, but I don't know how to do wildlife. Very few people who are already working and they want to do something else, but most of them are younger people. I think Sandra got a message of a girl who was like, "Oh, you're my inspiration, and I want to become wildlife." You did that, right?
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, if you notice, Kayden, now that Ishan mentioned it, there are a lot of young people rather than older people who, join our trails and are like interested and stuff. I mean, I think it might be something.
Yeah. I was going to say something. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about haters. I'm sure putting stuff online, you do get, I mean, I would be surprised if you didn't get a decent amount of hate. And so, yeah, walk me through that. What are some of the more colorful comments that you have gotten?
I think it's lucky that I don't know. It's maybe I am lucky that I get very very few hate comments. I mean, there are comments that are a little like, "Oh, this is wrong information." When it's the fig video that I posted once that the fig is has, so I. I mean, come on, calling it non-vegetarian is like a subjective thing. It's not like a hard, like it's not a non-vegetarian thing.
Wait, one second. If for those who haven't seen the video, could you just describe it?
So yeah, yeah, I should have done that. So once we were walking in the jungle and we seen this fig tree. I think it was a gular tree, and I was like, you know what? Why not make a video on how the wasp pollinates this? Okay, and the weird part is we almost left. We are like, you know what? We are too tired to do this. We came for some other type of content. We had gone. The me and Sandra, both of us had gone to find crocodiles, but the forest the guard told us that the crocodile left. It's like he's no more in this pond. Like that's the word he used. He's like, "Wo chal-"
Yes.
So yeah, and so then you're like, you know what? Let's just roam around and see what else do we find. So we found this fig tree, and I was like, let's make a video on this. And but I was so tired at that point, we decided, you know what, let's not make the video. We came back and then I got an idea, oh, why not make a video on calling it vegetarian or non-vegetarian? And that video reached so many people that it bought a little few trolls.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah, but so the thing is, I don't think I get a lot of hate comments online is because it's a very niche field. Not a lot of people, not a lot of not a lot of time pass people want to watch my videos. How
no,
about you, Isha? Do you get any hate comments?
yeah. I recently there's this one like my family farms cardamom, and so like in the plantation, we interact with some of the workers, and in one of the plantations, one of the neighboring plantations, someone had killed a Anamalai pit viper, and I was not happy that day. I called them all, and I was like, listen, this is not on. Like, just let it go.
You have
And
Annamalai pit vipers in your like, wow, that's
it's
good.
crazy.
I'm
I mean,
jealous right now.
to be fair, that's what in the plantation, of course, they are lesser than the neighboring forest. So the plantation is right up against the rainforest of Munnar. So it's a really wild place. There are elephants. There was an elephant there just a week ago. We get the updates on WhatsApp, and so this person had killed this snake,
I've
and I
seen a documentary on that.
have you? Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. There are a lot of elephants that walk through that.
No,
An
no, I've
elephant
seen a
actually.
documentary on the WhatsApp thing that started about elephants. The WhatsApp alerts.
That is Valpara. Yeah, that a region with a lot more elephants. We don't have that many. They just pass through from Iravikulam to some other Rajamalai, like those the national parks over there. But so this person had killed the snake, and I had to tell him like to not do this and all. And I posted a video about that with the dead snake. I was like, guys, just don't do this. And people were like, kill the snake and so on. So but so that's why I asked that. So all right, I
Yeah,
think yeah. They were quite. I think that was the first time I realized that all my other content talking about nature and wildlife was within echo chamber. Like they were just interested people. But this one video, I think because it had a dead snake, I was holding the snake with a stick. It reached folks that aren't interested in this, and so that's why it got very charged. And so I mean, it is engagement in the end. So I did keep the comments on. So
I know.
but it
Yeah.
is interesting. But I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so you haven't like
I
the
guess I
crowd that
haven't escaped the echo chamber yet.
that's what I mean. That worries me, sometimes. I mean, it doesn't worry me, but it does make me think that am I just preaching to the choir? Like, am I preaching to just folks who are already interested? Like, how do I get, and I wanted your thoughts on this. How do we reach newer audiences that actually need to hear about this and induct them into this space?
Like we've been
Sandra,
talking
yeah.
for a long time. So would you like to take this question?
No, man, Kayden. Content is yours.
Okay. So how would I getting so I've realized one thing that there are people outside who are interested in this. If you package it well, like see, for example, in Discovery at a time where there was no awareness about wildlife, these three channels, Discovery, National Geographic, and Animal Planet, these channels were able to still manage to survive. They managed to survive, right? These channels in such a time. So and they are not like they were not very Indian audience specific. Okay, they bought documentaries from world over and gained footing in India, and it was pretty sciencey content what they would show. So I think if your content is good enough, it will eventually reach the non wildlife people. Again, it's not like a, I don't think there's a, so there are some people in wildlife itself who do wacky stuff. I mean, Fishing Garrett, for example, I don't dislike his content, but I'm not a fan of yoinking up snakes from their natural habitat.
For those who don't know, yonking is picking up
Yeah.
these animals. Yeah.
Yeah, I am not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of content that sensationalizes stuff for no reason. I agree you need to sensationalize your content, otherwise it might not work. But I think if your content is interesting enough, that is the challenge. Okay, the interesting enough is a very big challenge. Making content interesting enough. I still haven't gotten the hang of it. But I think if you're, yeah, sorry. So I think if you're able to make decent enough content, eventually you will reach audiences who are not a part of it. But still, your reach will be limited by language, by interest, by a lot of things. But I think eventually going mainstream is possible with good quality content.
I think then there is misinformation, which is something that your account actually deals with quite well. Debunking all these almost staged videos where people actually molest the animal and tie it up to get a certain.
So word to you.
But really, it's really quite.
Yeah.
It's abusing this. The like I think that one famous one where they tied the snake. I couldn't even identify the snake because I don't know. It had its
Yeah.
tongue out.
It was. I think it was a rat snake species found in that area. Like, I forgot the name, but I think a red-tailed rat snake.
For the people listening, there was this one video that went viral of a snake that was dangling above this pond, which then got attacked by this fish, which jumped out of the water. It was a very like sensational kind of video, but that snake was tied to this branch that was overhanging above the pond, which was, I mean, it was really.
So I'm not sure if it's tied or stuck, but one of
It was attached there somehow, and I mean that's barbaric, I think, to do that. But so I mean, it's good that your account like tries to address that. I mean, is there any thought process? Do you like when one of these videos come out, you quickly go and try and like douse the fire?
Oh no, I have a small army with me. I like if these guys if I hope these guys see the video. There's Lucky, there's Jehu, there is Samayam. That's the name wrong. Samayam. So these guys and a lot of them, there's Soham. These guys find videos from the internet and like KD device pe video banao. Like make a video
Okay.
on and they literally force me to make videos on this. They're like, no, you have to make a video on this. And all of them are teenagers, huh?
No, I mean, I just want to talk about this in general.
So luckily we have some youngsters who are like really active and who have a lot of knowledge here. I think you're also quite young, right?
Yeah. How old do you think I am?
I don't like 21, 22.
Yeah, I'm 21. I'm 21.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask how old you are? Because I actually first thought you
Yeah.
were my age, and then I realized no, you're not
I'm
my age.
I'm 29.
29. Acha. Oh, you don't look it. Okay.
Yes,
Good.
thanks.
I actually thought you were in college as well, and then I was like, ठीक है.
But it's been almost like 7 8 years I've left college.
Right. Wow. No, no. That's no, but that's cool. So I mean, it's great. I mean, I love to hear that there's this whole team behind.
It's not a team. Basically, my followers who stayed with me for a while,
Right.
and they are like they talk to me. They get angry if I don't reply to them.
It makes a difference. I think we need more people to do stuff like this. So okay, we're approaching the end. So I'll have these last few questions. What's the vision now for Man of the Forest and People of the Forest and the Nature's Eye and all these initiatives that you have?
Think the aim would still remain the same. Both of our interests stem from education, and it's something that we both like to do. Much ever Kayden may disagree, he is a very chatty person. And you start talking to him, especially about nature, he will keep you occupied. Trust me, even if it requires to for the entire day, he's capable. Okay, that's how passionate, absolute passionate he is about this thing. Agent forms the base of both people of the forest as well as nature's eye. People of the forest majorly tries to take people out, whereas nature's eye is trying to ground people on, the basics of things. And I think when it comes to that, I think that is the aim that we would want to actually stick to and always move towards. Educate as many people as possible, make this more mainstream, make more people appreciate and learn about Indian wildlife in general, because I don't think people know a lot about what's even in our backyard. I mean, so many times we go out there and we're even like telling people about the most basic things that we're seeing every time, which I would, if I would tell someone who's like a hopper like you'd be like, हाँ ठीक है, इसको तो ये तो दिख जाता है. But people don't know these things. I mean, I don't know, wine snakes are like so common, right, for us, but for people are like, snake, oh my god, so cool. So I think what we eventually want to do is just that, just teach people, just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully there are hopefully this becomes like an entire revolution of people learning and wanting to learn more and appreciating, and maybe at the end even conserving, because the conservation is the ultimate goal. That the whole cutting down of forests and the whole conflict between development versus nature, just I don't know, all of those get resolved. I mean, they're just so far fetched to think of, but we can just hope, I guess. What do you think, Kate?
Similar, yeah. So I think the same what you said, but like I would like to have levels, like a level of education. One would be where you know the first level would be where we teach the basics to people who are interested in wildlife. Okay, like the next level would be the ones who are already interested in wildlife. That's what we do at Nature's Eye. The ones who are already in the field of wildlife, we upskill them by courses or something like that. POF is more about getting the masses interested in wildlife, and Nature's Eye is the more of people who are in wildlife to upskill and teach them a little more.
All right. I mean, can you just in like two lines describe what Nature's Eye is? Because I don't think we said it earlier.
Yeah, so Nature's Eye basically is a an online platform where we used to connect, where we connect teachers and students, teachers from different fields of wildlife. Like they can be a QGIS or a Python programmer who are in wildlife or environment, or someone who's studying moths, and they organize courses, and a lot of people join these courses. I mean, it's a monetary thing, because ultimately that is, you can't keep it sustainable if there is nothing coming out of it. So yeah, and they join these courses and they learn about things that are not available online. We have course on herpetology, ornithology, and that, yeah. POF or People of the Forest is more about taking people to the jungle and showing them, and we do that in the form of puzzles and games.
Nice, nice, very nice. So okay, so we have the last question, and this is the last. This is the one question I
Do we have
asked.
like little more time? I want to ask you one question. Isha, tell me something about your thing. Yeah, like I've been speaking about our thing, like something about what you do, and I'd like to know that too.
The goal is just to share. I mean, I've been passionate about this for like my whole life, and so I just recorded one video and then I didn't stop. Like my dad is the one who records, okay, and I
That's actually so nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, he's also into this. I mean, he's not like hardcore or anything, but he, I mean, he's just in general he likes being in nature, and so he records me. And it's funny because actually a lot of these videos we have to walk in the farm because we need to like look at the plants and see their health. And so when we're walking, I'll spot like a large scale forest lizard, for example, which is one of those endemic animals there. I'll be like, let's film something, or a cat snake, let's film something, or a vine snake, or so on and so forth. And so yeah,
I like your video. They're very calming. Like
Ade, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, and now that it's like taking off pretty decently, the goal is to see how this goes. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually trying to branch off into new things because I mean, wildlife is one of my main passions. I'm also an entrepreneurship student, which is why I've also started this podcast and other things so that I can explore some other aspects, other things that I'm passionate about. Actually, so by the way, okay, I'm not gonna this particular thing I will cut out of the recording. Like I actually like I'm recording the initial episodes now, and so I wanted you both of you to be one of those early guests so that once I start publishing, we could
it means a lot to us. Like yes.
really. So, but yeah, thanks for asking. I mean, again, after we quit,
So why
also
are you cutting your part? Yeah, let your part be. Na?
no, that'll be. I said this. This is like I'm recording the episodes now and publishing later. That is just that
Yeah.
section, just so that when it's out, they don't this thing. But so the last question that I had for which is the tradition that I'm starting on this podcast, I ask all the guests, and both of you have to answer this separately. Okay, so you cannot also copy each other's answers. I'm not allowed. If say for a day you had like access to billboards, but I know like on highways you see those billboards. Otherwise, they'll have a number which says call this number. So if you had access to those billboards all across the world for a day, what is one message that you would put over there? And we'll go Kayden first.
So me, my fiance, and a few friends were in the jungle once, and what happened was a group of youngsters were walking. I'm not saying we are old, but they were they were like slightly older than us. So we were walking, and they were playing loud music. So what happened? She was laughing. Remembering that incident. So what happened was we were walking in the incident. We were walking in the jungle, and these guys were playing loud music. So I approached them, and I was like, "Did you see this? Did you see the giant squirrel?" I showed them the photo. They're like, "No, we didn't see it." Did you see the deer? And we got photos of all of that. And did you see this? And they're like, no, we didn't see this. And I'm like, if you stay quiet, you will.
Nice,
Something like
nice.
that. So not exactly this, but something like that. Like if you try to look for it, you will find it.
Oh wow, that's so nice. Actually, that's such a powerful message. Yeah, I think uh, even in our cities, right? There are. I mean, if you're quiet, you might just. I mean, you're in the best city for that in India. You're in Mumbai. If you're very quiet, yeah.
You will
And
see
if you're close
leopards.
to Arik colony, you might just get lucky and see a leopard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm far from our area. Anyway, Sandra's turn. So
But yeah, Sandra, yeah, your answer.
Am I allowed to say the same thing?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else because I think one of the things that actually really also pisses me off a lot is that when people are, but okay, if there is something that I could maybe post on a billboard, which is maybe all across the world, I think I would tell people that try to know more. There is more. There are these guys. Okay, I'll tell you where this is coming from. So last Sunday, last week, I went for I was conducting a trail with a bunch of people, okay? And I introduced them. It was a birding trail. It was a free trail. So we had a bunch of people join. And I was just talking to them about eBird being a citizen science initiative. I'm not sure if you know of it. Yeah, so eBird is basically citizen science initiative where you can make checklists and stuff of the things, the data, the birds and all that you see. Okay, and I told them about this app, the Merlin app. Okay, basically it identifies bird calls for you. Okay, which apparently is also something I told to people in a previous trail. And one of the participants from that trail came for this one also. And then she just goes there like, Sandra, ever since you told me about this app, it has unlocked a different world altogether. I didn't even know this existed right near my house. This is so crazy. And all that I could think of was there is
is
so
that
much.
that Divijay talking about?
Yes, it is Divya I'm talking about.
Divijay is
She
really
was so
interested.
exactly. She was so excited that she was like, I didn't know this was near my house and this was near my house and this was near my house. And it's crazy how much we actually have, even in cities. In a city which is so polluted, which has AQI, which is not livable for people, we have so much wildlife around us which we just don't see because we don't know. And I think that is something that I would tell people that, to see, you will have to know, and to know, you will have to take an interest. So start there, start somewhere.
Wow. Okay. Well, Sandra and Kayden, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ishan. Thanks a lot.